Hi, Sanjana. I wanted to leave you some feedback on your on essay one. Overall, I really enjoyed reading your essay, and I think I liked it from the beginning, meaning that I enjoyed reading your rough draft, and this was a good read as well. I love where you start us. And really, this kind of feels like a frame story where you start with the concept of home, you attempt to illustrate it throughout the body, and then you return to that idea by the end. And I think, and I think that I think that it's working in terms of that, what I would call that frame narrative. So your sense of purpose is very strong in this essay. I also really appreciate your ability to capture really concrete details, right? So we talked about concrete descriptive writing in class throughout this unit, and you've demonstrated that quite well. I love this image right here. It's something that I can see um, quite clearly, and it's something, even though I don't live in Texas, it's something in Missouri that I recognize as well. Um, in addition, I love the details about how you've kind of how you have helped keep your family's not only the cultural traditions but also your family's personal values alive, um, um, even though your parents immigrated to the United States. You're recognizing that it's still something that's still very alive and well um, with you. This is a wonderful detail here where you're talking about superstitions and what you think the likely source of that superstition is. In addition, I love the description of the clothing that you see. Yeah, like this is a fantastic detail right here, and I agree with you. It is something that can be seen from far away. Um, so that's really good work there. I also like the details about school, particularly the teacher that was very difficult to deal with in the moment, but um, but you recognized after the fact that it was good preparatory work for you in terms of how you can handle high school. So that was a really interesting moment as well, because I kind of expected it to go into a different direction, where essentially you were going to say that this teacher is someone who you dislike and still dislike, and it's caused some deep wounds, but you're recognizing that there was some I don't harm isn't the right word, but there was some uh, struggle for you and your peer group, but that you saw some good come out of it. The only major criticism that I have is it's hard for me as your reader to recognize the complete arc, meaning that I am not quite sure where the highest moment or the moment of change is in the essay, right? So really, instead of this being like a narrative with a full narrative arc, it kind of feels like it's this reflection on home, right? The concept of home, which is interesting. But as your reader, that was the one thing that I didn't think was fully realized. The writing is strong enough that I think that it works as a reflection, as I said. But in terms of like the genre being a personal narrative, that's the one thing that, should you revise this, should you take a second look at this, that's what I would focus on. And if your purpose is to show what home as a concept means to you, that should be the focus of what the highest moment in the text is. All right. Well, that's all I have to share with you. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.